Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, can I share my screen?
Yes, share it.
Okay. आप बताइएगा अगर स्लाइड दिखेगी तो।
ठीक है। आपको मेरी
स्लाइड,
आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ आ रही है। आपको मेरी स्लाइड दिख रही है?
स्लाइड अभी खुली नहीं है।
नहीं, मैंने दिखाई है। दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम विद गूगल लिंक। एक मिनट, ये गूगल लिंक के साथ यही दिक्कत है।
नहीं तो अगर इन केस इट इज नॉट ओपनिंग, आप बोलिए, हम सुन लेंगे। आप हम आपको परिचय करा देते हैं। सो फ्रेंड्स,
जस्ट सी, कैन यू सी इट राइट नाउ?
नो नो।
नो, देन देयर इज सम प्रॉब्लम, क्योंकि यहाँ से सब ठीक है।
हाँ, शेयर करने में कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा। आप हमें ऐसे ही वो कर लीजिए, इंटरेक्ट कर लीजिए, और हम बाद में आपसे पीपीटी ले लेंगे इफ यू शेयर दैट।
हाँ, बट आपको दिखे नहीं ना? आई होप अभी भी नहीं दिख
नाउ
रही है
नाउ
आपको?
या नाउ इट्स
ना?
विजिबल। हाँ।
ओके, फाइन।
So let me welcome Dr. Romila Bhatnagar from NCRT. She has written a wonderful book on the ECCE, and she has been working on school readiness program also. Madam, with all her experience, and had visited many states and started the programs also. So we invite you in SCRT Raipur Chhattisgarh's virtual school readiness program, and we are welcome you on behalf of the SCRT team. She is Dr. Jaya Bharti, the coordinator of the program. I'm the co-coordinator. She is the speaker of Goal 2, Abha Verma, Dr. Shishir Khanna, Diet Principal, and Dr. Jessie Kurian. She is from the ELTI English department, and we expect to learn a few things from you on this school readiness program. And as I have requested you that kindly show how this Jadoo Putara or toys based playway method can help us in achieving our goals of school readiness. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Deepa. And thank you to Dr. Jaya Bharti and others, like on the dais and all the dear participants. सबसे पहले मैं ये पूछना चाहूंगी, shall I speak in English or shall I speak in Hindi?
The English. It has to be
English.
English. Yeah.
Okay. So, it'll be I'll be talking about toy-based pedagogy and how it is related with the school readiness and how we are going to use the toys and map the toys uh, with the concepts and skills that we want to teach uh, to the children across the foundational stage. I will not say only Balvatika, across the foundational stage. Although it is a school readiness program, but when you start using the correct pedagogical practices right from the beginning of Balvatika 1, by the time the children reach to Balvatika 3, they get better prepared for grade 1. So, in short, it is using toys to support the young children's play, right? So, Jadui Pitara and all kind of early childhood play material comes under this toy-based pedagogy, right? So, I'm going to talk about young children and play and toy-based pedagogy in NEP 2020, what NEP 2020 has emphasized upon, understanding the toy-based pedagogy and the three goals that has been suggested in Nipun Bharat as well as in Vidya Pravesh. That is the three goals. Children maintain good health and hygiene and well-being. Children are effective communicators, like good communication skills, and also children are involved learners and connect with their environment. So preparations and cautions while using TBP. So I'm using the short form of toy-based pedagogy, that is TBP. And how you should also take support of parents and families to implement the toy-based pedagogy, right? Specifically, making of toys, um, like collecting toys from different houses and creating an exhibition kind of a thing. Even SCRT Chhattisgarh can create such kind of a or plan for such kind of a exhibition. We have done regional conferences on toy-based pedagogy similarly. So do it yourself and toys from waste materials. So this is I'm going to talk about. But I'll be winding up it quickly because you have other sessions also.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's go quickly because it is already 3:15, right? So
Yeah.
I'll free you at 10 to 4 or 5 to 4.
You take till 3:45 or at the most 3:50 because it's already late. We have other sessions also.
Sure. So I'll just give you a glance and idea, right? What it is, toy-based pedagogy, and how you can link with FLM, right?
Yeah.
So few of the things I'm just suggesting you how uh, you can give assignment to your participants. For example, this slide itself is talking about an assignment. Can you think of some popular games and toys of your state? So take time and list down. We do it generally online, but this can be an assignment for you, and later on you can give it to your participant. And when we say that play is the highest form of research, right? So these kind of a toys are very, very popular in across like India. So find such kind of toys and start collecting, and then do the separation according to the age. This is what we are asking all the states to do this, and also create a toy library, and then see how you are mapping it with the different goals. And do not restrict it with the three goals only, because now national curriculum framework for the foundation stage is there. So map your toys and with the concepts and with the competencies as suggested in three goals, as well as suggested in NCFFS competencies. So whatever the three goals are talking about, the NCFFS competencies are also talking about the same thing. So this slide is asking the participant, how do you plan to use the toys for teaching concepts and skills and help your children to explore the toys as pedagogy, right? So create prior planning is very, very important. And if you want to know more about toy-based pedagogy, go to the Diksha portal and go there and watch toy-based pedagogy and FLM. There you will find the same session in detail, right? So you're not going to miss anything. Thirdly, we are going to launch certificate course in toy-based pedagogy for the foundational and for the preparatory stage. So very soon you can do this certificate course uh, and become master in your CPD, right? So it is a why toys are very important. So when we target goal one, it helps in maintaining well-being because toys are engaging, toys are challenging, and toys increase a sense of security and develop self-esteem. So you can see these pictures also. It is all the model preschools of NCERT. And जब हम खिलौना बोलते हैं, whenever we talk about a toy, anything with the child plays becomes a toy. So children learn from meaningful play experiences. We say that if you can see a picture at the bottom, it is a matchbox cart. Okay. So a day spent with toys, always a day well spent. So I will just suggest also that you need to create toys and games for different domains and areas. So everybody knows about physical, motor, social development, emotional development. This is what is expectation of NCFFS. This is what is the expectation of school readiness. And this is what is the expectation of NEP 2020. So you keep on clicking the photographs also for the slides. So when we say young children and play, if you can see the middle picture, it is just a cardboard box, right? And children make them a cart. So are you also providing such kind of a things in your schools, in your states, in your Balvatika? Collect such kind of a cardboard boxes from the shop stores and allow them uh, to become and communicators and watch them how they become involved learners and encourage them to connect with their environment. So what are the benefits of TBP across the foundational stage? Toys actually help us to figure out how things work, कैसी चीजें काम करती हैं, right? And children learn about the new ideas, how this works, how this can be solved, so problem solving skill becomes sharpened. They learn to cooperate with others and it also develop their gross motor and fine motor skills because they pick up the toys, open the toys, so many things. It is so no see, it is very difficult to compile the session in half an hour. So you can see few of the things, picture reading poster, which is again a part of your Jadui Pitara, and kitchen play, as you can see on the left side, and exploring and learning through arts. You you need also to include the art material in your toy box. And also you can see that the children are using the magnifying lens to explore the leaves, how the leaves looks closely, how it looks from the far. So all kind of a things you need to put it in a toy box or wonder box. So this is specifically for the teachers and for the educators, for the master trainers. Do like for example, if I say how SCRT is helping the schools and the teachers to observe and record children's play preferences and skills as they explore toys. क्या सीखते हैं? What do the children learn when they use particular toys? So do you create any kind of a checklist? If yes, how? So observing children's play as they explore toys. So I hope I will be able to connect tomorrow and then I can give you the ideas of observing and assessing the children, right? So these things you need to do. For example, here, if the child is using some art material and creating some kind of a thing. Similarly, here the child is like using unifix blocks. There are unifix blocks that interconnect with each other. So children explore, have delight, fun, wonder, laughter, discover, they experiment when they are using the toys. So these are the specifically characteristics which enhances children's critical and creative thinking. Children talk about ideas. They learn how to fix things when they are exploring the toys. And in broadly, if we say, when we specifically talk about goal 3, children, it encourages their cognitive, emotional, and social development, right? And they also specifically selection of toys is very important because children learn faster and better when they use open-ended toys. I hope you understand open-ended toys. Open-ended toys which can be used in a different manner, right? So we say that the childhood without toys is just what? A waste, right? So the toy-based pedagogy in NEP 2020 talks about must be mapped with the competencies. This is what, see, there on the right side picture, these are teacher-made toys. There are ready-made toys and there are toys made from the natural material. पत्तों से भी toys बनते हैं, like we need to see that how toys are activity based and inquiry based and how it will promote hands-on learning, right? So this is why we say that toys are an essential classroom ingredient. Parents and families can also be involved so that it will become TBP at home. If you can see, there are powder cans and any empty cans which you can use it for pushing and pulling. So how you are involving children also in making the toys, right? So it is preparing the children for grade one. Like why we say toy-based pedagogy for school readiness? Because when the children are engaged, their communication skills are enhancing, they are become critical thinkers, they learn how to solve problems using open-ended materials and constructing something, and they are better doers with specifically foundational literacy and numeracy when they reach in grade one, right? So children learn to work in groups as they share the toys and the play materials when they construct by interacting and sharing ideas. Gradually, this is preparing them for grade one. So, the more the children talk about the ideas, the better they become the good readers, right? There are variety of toys, the paper toys, as you can see on the theme chart also. These are paper toys. So there are fabric toys, there are paper toys, there are clay toys, right? There are waste material toys. So what kind of a toys you are providing to the children? So remember, there are certain toys which can be created in the toy area in Balvatika, and there are certain toys which are made available from the market, and there are certain toys which are available by the teachers. And this picture is specifically of a G20, which we have organized in Pune, where we involve the parents also to create a setup of a Balvatika and make them understand the use of toy-based pedagogy. So do not forget to involve the parents also in toy-based pedagogy. So anything can be a toy. See how the child is making a block tower using glasses, right? So katori se bhi ban sakta hai. So you just need to sharpen the child's critical thinking skill. But at the same time, what the child is learning, if the child is making a tower using the glasses, what the child is learning? So this is a question I'm giving it to you. What as a teacher you're going to observe when the children are constructing blocks in this way, right? This we are going to talk about tomorrow. So toys extend imagination and critical thinking skill, and the more better the children critical thinking skill, the better is the children mathematical concepts. So what you are supposed to do is mapping of concepts with toys. And believe me, engaging in an activity for learning and enjoyment. So how to do this?
अच्छा है.
Map the toys and materials with concepts and skills. One toy or material or game will reach or touch many concepts or skills. There is a book also uploaded on NCRT website, Handbook on Toy-Based Pedagogy. You can download this digital version and can see how to map the toys, right? This is how you are supposed to map the toys. Like you can create a team at SCRT as a project, and you can ask that committee to get hold of or collect the toys of Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh. Take 2 steps and then map the toys with the concepts. How many toys are there? What are the variety of toys in Chhattisgarh itself? For 3 to 6 and for 6 to 8. And how you can map these toys is what the children can learn, what are the learning outcomes it is targeted for, and what are the suggested activities. See, this is a dolls area. This is again, we have created, I myself designed this toy area in the Balvatika in G20 Pune. This is a toy area where you separate two activity toy areas. So this is a doll area where the kitchen set is there, and then the right side you can see a block building area. So this is how you create a Balvatika setup and offer toy-based pedagogy. So language and literacy area also has toys and play materials uh, related to particular area. But you need to see that every area where you are using the toy-based pedagogy has to be labeled, right? So if you will see, uh, I hope you can hear the child talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, कल हमने ऐसे ही कुछ गतिविधि की थी.
Right? So now what the child has done? The child was playing with the cars. Now the teacher and the parent has encouraged the child to arrange these cars in order from smallest to biggest and biggest to smallest. Now what you have observed as a teacher, the child was using the vocabulary. ये सबसे छोटी, ये उससे थोड़ी बड़ी, ये उससे थोड़ी बड़ी, ये सबसे बड़ी. So smallest to biggest. What the child is learning? Foundational numeracy. So you're targeting goal three, right? So the states can also create a toy library. Like SCRT can itself can take a project and create a toy library in SCRT Chhattisgarh, right? So you can see how minute are the things the child is using in the area. The child is using a tongue. So the fine motor skills are being developed and goal one is targeted clearly. If you can see this here, the child is learning to fold the clothing, right? And you can see here is also a iron there. So when the child is folding a cloth, the child is playing also. So it is not necessary. So this is the reason we say toy and game based pedagogy. So it could be a play material also. So the child has folded, targeted goal one, and also then child has created a library, right? So we need to see while using the toy based pedagogy, you need to see how the toys should be easily accessible. Teacher is not supposed to close the toys in the cupboard, right? It should be easily accessible to the children, duly labeled because it enhances language and literacy. And keep preparing the toys and use non-toxic materials. Avoid battery-operated and ornamental toys. देखने के लिए नहीं, right? And do not impose your ideas onto the children. Include more ideas. So there are variety when we say toy based pedagogy. Sing, play, dance using toys and puppets. Talk about number toys. Talk about letters. uh, like let the children how you can use bring toys here. This is your homework, right? So few of the things connect these things with the experiential learning. Like on the right side, you can see these are the twigs. Now the teacher has created a tambourine, attaching some beads to it. This is called toys using the nature, using the natural material, right? And this is a paper cup damuru, right? So these here you can take the help of parents and community members to prepare toys and play materials at home. You can create an exhibition at SCRT. Even the master trainers can create such kind of a thing. And this is how you can involve the parents and the community. So make DIY toys as a part of foundational stage curriculum. And like paper boat हम सब भूल ही गए हैं. So why cannot we bring the paper boat, paper rocket, right? And paper puppets and all these things. So you can see the lids are there, rubber band attach the rubber band and an ice cream stick, and it becomes your, like you can play the music out of it. So these are the toys from waste and nature. Children love this. And the more you do such kind of an activity, children are more engaged, parents are more engaged, Their minds are working, their brains are working, and they're learning. Okay, so you can see all these amazing toys. I think you must have remembered your बचपन. सेंटर में जो टॉयज दिख रहा है, इफ यू रिमेम्बर, अगर आपने बचपन में इस तरह का फॉर्च्यून टेलर गेम खेला है, so you can take the pictures of all these things because the time is very short, and then later you can exclusively do a workshop of 5 day of toy making workshop. There are so many project SCRT itself can think about. The Damru itself is a part of the Jadui Pitara. So these are and these are required as Indian knowledge system also, using toy based pedagogy also, using the nature also. So ask yourself, can the toy be used in more than one way? Now what I have done in one of the workshop, many have kept some toys in a basket, and asked children to create stories using the toys. So this is called story-based approach using the toys, and children's communication skill get enhanced. Only thing you need to see that the toys needs to be safe, and it is for all the children. And remember, toys do not replace people, right? Chote chote chakla belan, where the children are kneading the clay, binding the clay, and making rotis out of it. So do we find our children today playing with such toys? So we need to see things. This is Arvind Gupta's book. All these black and white pictures are source of Arvind Gupta book, who is famous for uh, तो डाइस बना सकते हैं आप. See, this is the girl and this is the boy using the matchbox. If you get hold of Arvind Gupta toy book, please buy it. Right? So also bring toys in outside play. We also say that tires are very good for outdoor play. So this becomes their tunnels, right? So see, this is a picture. This is a famous school in Ayodhya or Faizabad, where the whole park is with tires. So this is a cutsy of Faizabad Ayodhya Jingle Bell School. So how do you plan to use the toys, play material, games in your classroom now? So thank you so much for your patient listening. And if you have any questions, so this was my short presentation. Keep doing and keep preparing such kind of a toys and keep your classroom a happy classroom. Thank you so much.
Please, Abha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was really enlightening, and I wish our teachers could actually make such toys and involve them with with the syllabus. And as you said, collecting the toys and mapping them with the competencies would mean a lot. We will certainly look forward to arrange a toy workshop and learn much more from
Yeah.
you about this pedagogy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for being with us. Though the time was short, but it was really, really wonderful presentation. And I hope SCRT could develop such thing. You know, it's really, really very what we talk about joyful learning. I think this is one of them. And thank you very much. And tomorrow we will same time we will see you again.
Sure.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much from the team of Chhattisgarh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Allow me to leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
आज हमारे बीच मास्टर ट्रेनर्स के रूप में अभी अभी आपने एनसीईआरटी की मैम
रोमिला
रोमिला भटनागर से आपने बहुत ही सुंदर हमारे रीडनेस के ऊपर जो उन्होंने अपने खिलौने आधारित जो शिक्षण शास्त्र है उस पर उन्होंने बातें की और आपने उनका लाभ लिया. अब आज हमारा जो कार्यक्रम है विशेष रूप से भाषा और साक्षरता का विकास के अंतर्गत है. हम किस तरह से भाषाई विकास कर सकते हैं, तो इस पर हमारे बीच मास्टर ट्रेनर्स के रूप में आज हमारे बीच आए हैं। उनके द्वारा ये महत्वपूर्ण सेशन लिया जाएगा। तो मैं सौंपती हूँ माइक मैडम को, जैसी मैम को।
Good afternoon, friends. Today we'll discuss the second goal, that is being effective communicators. What the need is and how we can go about it, how to see that it materializes in the classrooms. We have with us experts, Dr. Shishir Kanna Bhattacharya from Diet, Madam Abha Verma from Diet, both are from Diet Raipur. Deepa Das, Dr. Deepa Das is here from SCRT. Dr. Jaya Bharti Chandrakar, she is the overall coordinator of Readiness program. So, shall we start the presentation?
Thank you, Jessie. And moving forward, we will come to the presentation. We will talk about language, development of language and literacy. English, as we know, it's in English medium school, of course, English is the first language, but anyhow, English is the second language. Our environment grows with English, but when we talk in the common mass, when we talk at home, when we talk with our friends, when we talk in the market or even outside, we rarely use English. So English becomes a need. When English becomes a need, when English becomes an urgency, we wish that when we learn English at school, we wish always that we shift to English without any hitch. So I'll hand it over to Abha, and Abha will tell you how we talk about language learning and literacy development at the first phase. What are its objectives? So the first slide, as you can see.
Thank you, ma'am.
We talk about
Objectives of the session today.
yes.
So thank you so much, ma'am. And we are very fruitful here that we get to have the opportunity. We are feeling blessed to have the opportunity to speak about the objectives of today's session. And that is, we'll understand the importance of early language and literacy development. And we'll also explore the play-based strategies for building skills.
Yes.
And we'll also learn about the practical activities to be implemented in the classes so as to make our students or learners well equipped with how they will learn the language English in the pre-stage.
Yes, and when we say that the importance of language and literacy in the early foundational level, and as you heard, as Dr. Bhatnagar was telling us, that it's always necessary that with all kinds of learning there is some language. You saw that little boy who was arranging the cars, the cars in order. ये सबसे बड़ी, ये सबसे छोटी, ये उससे बड़ी, ये उससे बड़ी. So this is the smallest. Now bigger than that, bigger and biggest. So automatically the child uses such language and makes a comparison, whether although in terms of using grammar or sentence strategies or even syntax, it's not very important, it's not very mandatory that children will be able to make meaning or make sentences and transmit their ideas, but when they begin with jots, they do use first language first, and then slowly shift over to the second language. Yes. So the second thing, yes, Abha.
Ma'am, actually it matters that promoting social emotional development is also there. That is also developed once the child is arranging those cars in the small order or to the higher order. The child is also having the feel of that the car belongs to me, so I should take care of this particular car. So arranging those cars into a smaller to higher level or to higher level again, it gives the child that bounding also with that particular toy, that I'll have to keep it safe, I'll have to take care of this toy, this is my toy, and all those things. So this supports the thinking and it develops the self-expression of the child, also is developed in a manner.
Right. In fact, when we talk about socio-emotional development, using relationships
Yes.
while talking, who am I talking to?
Yeah.
Using the relationships, जो संबोधन होता है, calling somebody माँ, पापा, चाचा, things like that. When in English, of course, we are not very used to using using very specific
Let's
relationship
use
terminologies.
you for
Yes, no, not that, not always that, but uncle, aunt,
Yeah, uncle, aunt,
for
right.
mama, chacha,
Yes,
we
yes,
don't have
yes.
specifically different
Yeah,
words.
yeah.
But even then, that social need for using relationship, using words to address people, and also the skills of developing voice modulation.
Right.
So the need for using a particular word, for example, नहीं तू तुम बैठो तू बैठ,
too bad.
ये जो चीज़ें हैं इंग्लिश में बहुत नहीं होता, फिर भी वो जो संबोधन है या वो जो चॉइस ऑफ वर्ड है वो निश्चित रूप से इट टॉक्स अबाउट द डेवलपमेंट. Promoting this is one of our most important goals in the early foundational level. Yes. And then if we talk about supporting thinking and self-expression, Jessie, will you highlight something about what self-expression is in the early foundation level? Like in fact, if you say Piaget's language developmental theories, we have seen that the child speaks to himself while playing, while even if there is no one there, before socialization, if there is no one there, the child speaks to
That
the
is the
mother.
developmental stage of the
Yes,
child
yes,
who's
the
a
first
6-year-old who's in this program.
2 to 3-year-old child, he or she speaks to himself. So that self-expression is the earliest mode of using language. Now, if we talk about English, we'll have to encourage that self-expression through some mode. So, how will we able to do that? How will we able to do that? For example, if you have some picture cards, if you have some picture cards like a child who is somebody who shows 5 fingers. Can we be shown?
Yes.
We are seeing.
Okay. Can if you have a child who is using 5 fingers, like say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. So if you have a fish, how do you show a fish? You can have a cutout of a fish or a picture of a fish, and you say, once I caught a fish alive. We can also use a puppet and do that. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. What does this tell you? This rhyme. We sing this as a song, we sing this as a nursery rhyme. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. So my idea is not to kill that fish, not to catch it and capture it, but I'm happy that I could catch it and then I let it go again. Of course, the numbers by fingers or through a small cutout of a fish, we can always see that the child is able to cultivate or to generate such kind of rhymes, such kind of words, such kind of arena the teacher is able to cultivate, which tells the child that he or she can naturally shift to that language. So when we are talking about promoting thinking, what else can we do in the classroom? What else will promote or support thinking in the target language, thinking and shifting to the target language?
We often tell them stories.
Yes.
Ask children to join in taking the story further. We can even help them evaluate an incident in a story, why something happened. Things of this kind help them to think by themselves. And
Yes.
They
support
express themselves through these. They can even, some of the stories we can relate it to their own lives, by which they will express it more conveniently, linking it. That is, they will be talking about themselves, so expression becomes easier.
Yes.
Like ma'am said that into the we right now the toy-based pedagogy also that we can show them certain pictures or certain toys and ask them to start a story with that. So that will also analyze the critical thinking.
Yes, for students of class 1, we can always have pictures like this. I don't know whether you can see it. There are pictures in which you are asked them to spot the differences. Right? 3 sets of pictures, and you ask them to spot the differences. When they spot out the differences, they tell the difference. For example,
Nose is there, nose is missing.
yes, there is a rose in the hair of this lady. There's no necklace with the other lady. There is no the colors of the blouses are different. The colors of the sari borders are different. Things like that. Now, words like sari, borders, rose, necklace, these words will have to be either prompted or flashed before the child. So, using flashcards is one of the basic strategies which helps to support thinking in the child while using first language, while using second language, because uh, when when the child knows that word in the mother tongue, he or she can quickly shift or quickly go to the other language, go to the other word in the target language. So that's always there while the child is creating something for himself. And again, if it is the next target, it is yes, Abba.
Yes, of course, ma'am,
Critical.
very right. The thing is, once the child is known of the particular word in his or her own language, the child can easily get to adapt to that particular word in another language. But the thing is, once we start with it, of course, we need to go very gradual with the scenario where we introduce certain small words to the child first. And like you said it very clearly, that two related pictures are being shown and certain differences are there in those pictures. So child could easily get to it that yes, this particular thing is missing.
Right.
So we have already covered all the very four parts that we have in the importance of
But
language and
critical
literacy.
requirement for success in reading and writing. This is another important
Yes.
level that we want to reach. And when we say critical thinking or critical requirement in reading and writing, what do we understand? For example, we start with an activity which says listen and answer.
Yes.
Listen and answer. And the teacher begins with an activity. She enters the class and she says, I have a letter here. I have a letter R. So, those children whose names begin with R will stand up and say their names. The children whose names start with R will begin and will stand up and say their names. Now, we will have children whose names are Rishi, Roma, Rohit, Rahul, Reena, names like this. But suppose somebody stands up and says, my name is Parul. My name is Dhara. That child understands that there should be a Ra in his name.
Yes.
There should be a Ra or R sound in his name. Now this is the foundational literacy begins here. When you say literacy, you also aim at understanding sound and language, sound and letter coordination, sound and language pronunciation coordination. When I said the first letter whose names begin with R, so the first letter has to be R. धारा में R है, धारा में र है, लेकिन धारा में र बाद में है. It's at the end. When you say Parul, the R ra sound is in the middle. This access, this understanding will have to be developed in the child. So here, when foundational literacy aims at making the child understand meaningful interaction, meaningful relationships with sounds and letters and pronunciation. You will have to see that the child makes a visualization, an image of what he or she listens to. Then again, for that activity, we can also have an exercise like we say listen and do. Listen and do. We do that. We always do that. Bingo, bingo, or we say.
We say jump and the children listen and jump.
What
Take
is
out
that
the
game?
notebooks,
Jesse, you
write.
have a game, na?
Yeah.
Which one is that? What says?
Simon says.
Simon says.
Yes. Yes. So, can we do that? Just a demo? Yeah. Simon says.
When the teacher says
Simon says.
stand up, the rule is that when the teacher says stand up, the students are not supposed to stand up. But when the teacher says Simon says stand up, the children stand up. Alright?
Okay.
So the teacher says this. Shall we show a
Unless you
demonstration?
add Simon says.
Let me be the teacher
Yes.
and your students.
Yes.
Simon says raise your hands.
Yes.
As Simon says, put your hands down, hands up. No,
No, teacher says
only
hands
when
up.
only when Simon
When
says.
Simon says.
All right. So we can use this activity to teach classroom instructions. They'll be able to listen and understand classroom instructions. This is the thing that we can very often use in the classroom instructions. So once we have done this through games, this can be a part of our regular communication.
Yes, and it's interesting because the child has to develop an attention. He has to remember that I'll have to listen cautiously when Simon says is being uttered.
Like we play with stand up and sit down games.
Right. Yes. Okay. So this is the beginning when we can say that the child comprehends or develops relates with listening skills, and the understanding of that skill develops on its own. Right. Now, moving forward, if we say that the child is trying to also coordinate, that the child also tries to read. How will the child try to read in that case? For example, I said the letter R, and then I bring in words that have R in different places. For example, I say mirror. I have a word mirror. Then I have a word
Slide.
yes, where I have a word that reads mirror. I have another word which reads red. Red. I have another word which reads race. Race, red, mirror. Where does R occur in these words? In the beginning, in the middle, or a word like car at the end? Where does R occur? So you'll have to encircle. Child is asked to circle the letter R. So if the child circles those letters, what happens? He or she is able to understand or visualize that letter. In fact, what happens is, while we are learning language, when children start learning language, they make an image of the letter, its corresponding sound, and the picture or the thing that is object that is associated with it. So concretization, from concrete to abstract. Learning is concrete to abstract. अब इसका एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल हम ले सकते हैं ठठेरा. हम लोग हमेशा छुटपन से पढ़े हैं ठ से ठठेरा. Now ठठेरा, okay, it's not a very common profession. We don't even know it by that name. तो ठठेरा शब्द को पढ़ाना या समझाना बहुत आसान नहीं होता. अगर हम ये कहें कि ठ से क्या, तो ठ से पहले हमारे बुक में ठ से ठग था. अब ठग, इट इज अ पिक्चर ऑफ अ बर्गलर. और कोई भी व्यक्ति जो ऐसा काला चश्मा पहन लिया वो ठग नहीं होता. सो वो एक कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन था, इसके कारण वो हट गया. उसके बाद में कॉन्सेप्ट कैसा हुआ? ठंड. Now concept of thand is not a noun उस तरह से.
Yes.
So when you say concrete object के रूप में ठंड दिखेगी तो उसका एक picture होगा. Now this is the point, how the child learns that, how the child conceptualizes that letter and the word in association. जो जब था बोलेंगे, for example वैसे ही हम tap बोलते हैं, T for tap. You have T for tap. जब हम letters of alphabet हम पढ़ाते हैं, so we have T for tap. T for tap में एक नल का चित्र होता है. वही चित्र न से नल में भी होता है. न से नल पढ़ते हैं तो नल का चित्र वहाँ भी होता है. T for tap में भी नल का चित्र होता है. एक बार बच्चे को याद रखना होता है न से नल. So the child visualizes that this is uttered as na, then it's uttered as null, and this is the picture of the null. When it's English, he or she has to remember that this is T, not na. This is T, and then you have the picture of a null, the tap, and then the word tap, T-A-P, tap. All these things has to be remembered together. Now suppose we go for assessment. अगर मैं assessment के तरफ जाऊं और उस बच्चे को फिर पूछती हूँ कि जैसे लिखा है एक word TREE और मैं कह रही हूँ कि T for tap वाला जो अक्षर है, that letter, वो यहाँ कहाँ है? तो वो tap ढूंढता है पहले तो. टैप ढूंढता है तो टैप का चित्र उसको दिखता नहीं, उसको ट्री दिख रहा है, दैट लेटर. नाउ उस बच्चे को टी बोलना नहीं आएगा. इफ द चाइल्ड इज नॉट एबल टू रिकॉल कि दिस इज कॉल्ड टी, तब वो क्या करता है? ही शफल्स टू द बुक एंड मार्क्स इट, पॉइंट्स इट आउट. ये वाला पिक्चर, ये वाला. द चाइल्ड रिमेंबर्स but may not be able to utter that letter, utter that sound with that letter. This is the process of learning which actually tells us that comprehension begins with listening, of course, but there is some kind of a image in the whole process of cognition which actually characterizes the learning, right? So characterization of, or you can say iconization of something in the form of something concrete is very necessary. Right.
They actually learn and then they have to unlearn, then again they'll have to relearn the things. So this creates a very big complication in that small mind of the child, that how he should relate with the things. And
Right.
somewhere it is there in the concrete mind that yes, whatever is installed type of a thing. So he is able to remember, and that's the reason that he turns and flips to those pages again and says some part of it that this particular is the word.
Yes. Yes. Then if you say phonology, phonological conversation. What is phonology? When you say conversation and storytelling, phonological conversation or awareness. How will we give phonological conversation? Suppose you have two letters. When you say two letters, suppose you say L, the letter L. L को हम कैसे लिखते हैं? The letter L. Yes.
Line.
हम letter L को कैसे लिखते हैं?
We relate with
बोर्ड ले सकते
board
हैं?
line.
नहीं.
On paper, take a paper.
Right. So let's have. Let's take this. We'll have the letter L. Can you see this? This is L. Now, if this letter, if we use this letter and we say, how many other letters can you make from this? Okay? How many other letters can you make from this? This is capital letter, right? Capital L. इसे कितने और letters आप बना सकते हैं? How many other letters? सोचिए भला. This is L. How many other letters can we make? Hmm? If I suppose
Take a BDQP, small BDQP. They are all single.
L we can also form E with L. We can also
P.
form.
Yes, made from the same shape. Q also
Yes.
will have a single line.
E can
right.
be made from
If,
L.
from
E,
L we can make
E.
T. We can make E.
F.
We can make F. We can also join it like this and say this is O.
U. U can also be
We
created.
can do it this way and say this is W.
V, U.
V and
U.
W. Okay, V.
One more line upwards is U.
One more line.
Upward from here.
One more line upward from here is U. Yes, exactly. So, see, what happens is, this is beginning to write, mechanics of writing. The child learns stroking. The child learns that you move your hand like this and like this. You move your pen with this process.
Downwards, upwards.
From up towards, from top to bottom, and then left to right. Top to bottom, left to right. Success in reading and writing will depend on understanding of such abilities within oneself. राइटर जो लर्नर है उसको खुद को ये महसूस करना पड़ेगा कि मुझसे ये बनेगा, मैं ये बना सकती हूँ. इन दैट केस यहाँ ये भी देखने की बात है कि while we are learning, we are holistic learners. We don't remember alphabet in the letters of the alphabet in series. जब आप बोल रहे हैं कि L से आप कौन से letters बना सकते हैं, तब आपके पास ये चुनौती है कि बच्चे को L इस तरह के आकृति से जुड़े हुए कितनी आकृतियाँ याद आती हैं. The child will not remember all the things in series, but he or she may be able to recall it while just running through those letters, how they look. For example, the first letter would be C in that case. L जैसे L को थोड़ा सा ऊपर से ऐसा बना देंगे तो C भी बन जाएगा. तो C, you can also say D. In that case, it will look थोड़ा सा squarish shape आएगा. तो O और D कैसे बन जाएगा वो देखना पड़ेगा. So the point is, you will have to see how the child develops the mechanics of writing, the stroking. Yes, it's top to bottom and then left to right. This is the way the child will learn writing also. The child will learn writing also. Draw.
When we are saying this, I am tempted to. It's difficult to draw with that.
That's not
Choose that straight line.
Yes, straight line. Yeah, that's
That one. The first one. Yes.
this side.
this one.
Yes. Yeah.
Leave it here.
No, it's not somewhere. Slanting.
It's okay. It's okay. You do this that way. Bring the next one. Bring the top to down, and then you can have a A.
This is you.
Right.
With great
Fine.
difficulty.
Fine. Yes. So
Yes, you.
computational skills
Huh.
are interesting. You can use the paintbrush, you can use the draw insert table, and you can always create such things in the class. Your child will help you much faster.
Yeah.
Can we have a free drawing there?
Free drawing is not. Yeah.
No, no straight lines really.
Yeah, he was doing it from somewhere. Where was he doing it? This one is
Insert,
there?
yes. Yeah, use pen.
That's one. This
pen.
is the pencil.
Yes. Show me.
Right. Okay.
What I was saying is that
Hmm.
we can have figures of this kind: a straight line and a curve, and oh, these are straight lines again. There's
You'll
a
have to
free
choose
drawing.
a curve.
Free
No,
drawing.
free drawing. What's all that?
View.
Tools. Just click at the tools and see if you.
Brushes.
Hmm?
Let's brush.
This is B.
Yes.
Again,
No, out of B,
we
how
can have
many
a straight
alphabets?
line and again a curve for D,
Yes.
and here again a straight line
And a curve for
and a
P.
curve for P,
Mm.
and
Curve and a straight line for Q.
Q.
Yeah.
All right,
Mm.
they are all the same shapes.
Yes.
Then
And
C.
mirror
And-
images also.
Yeah.
C can
And-
also be formed.
And I remember one of our teachers used to tell us, one of the teachers, that all the letters of the alphabet are made up of this curve and straight line. A has straight
Right.
lines,
Mm.
C, B, they have curved lines. They're all made of,
Curves and straight
and
lines.
if we have
Very true.
two curves, we can make an O.
Make a O.
O.
Mm.
All right,
Mm.
it's all made up of.
Curves
He
and
used to
straight
say
lines.
CD and Sigdi and Lakir. This is Sigdi,
Mm-hmm.
and this is Lakir. With the Sigdi and Lakir, we get all letters of the
26
alphabet.
alphabets.
Exactly. Thank you. That's it. And look at the mirror image, which always happens like B at the ulta. The opposite of B is D. So many times children confuse this while developing the writing skills. Ball के लिए डाल
doll.
लिखते हैं DALL और बैड लिखना हो तो फिर कौन सा पहले आएगा ये कंफ्यूज हो जाता है ये
Dab.
नीचे वाला कि पहले वाला. So this always this has to be
Dyslexia, it's
learned.
called
In fact, this is an
Dyslexia,
acquired
yeah.
skill in the
Dyslexia,
target
it is
language.
called. Yeah, yeah.
So that was nice. So I think we can also do this in our classrooms on the blackboard as well as using the computer. The children will have fun. Then now see the next thing that we see in the activities of developing foundational literacy is sharing experience. What do we understand by sharing experience? How can we say that we share experience? If it is like for suppose the slide that you can see now, here it tells about the letter and sound recognition. We talked about that. Promoting
Iconization.
iconization, like developing icons. वो बच्चे खुद बनाते हैं icons. And when you see that, what happens is sharing expression. कैसे sharing expression संभव है? How do the children share expressions? When children have photographs of their family, suppose I talk about my family. I have a photograph of my family. I have a photograph of my family, and I suppose in my family photograph I have my mummy, my papa, my brothers and sisters, and I also have my cousin. Okay, now there are 6 people on the photograph, in the photograph, and you want your friends to know their names. How will you do it? How will you do it? This is my father, this is my mother. You point out. You point out. You say, you point out. For example, I take this I take this photograph and I say, this is Reena. This is her dog. This is Rocky, Reena's dog. And this is Titi. This is Titi the bird. This is Reena. This is her dog Rocky, and this is Titi. Now this is an expression which is used when you point out. Similarly, if there are 5 mangoes on the table there, you say those are mangoes, these are apples. When you have a collection of things in front of you, you say these. When it's a little far away, you say those. Demonstratives. So when we use such expressions, the children learn how to describe concrete things, how to describe concrete objects. So sharing expression begins with such primary utterances. So preliminary utterances, what happens? The child will be able to, what will the child be able to do? He or she will be able to describe what I am wearing, what my friend is wearing, what Jessie is wearing. Jessie has put on a blue sari, right? Abha has a pink sari. I have a red sari. So when I say this, I'm using one or two expressions which are different to describe every different person or event. So sharing expression will talk about events or situations. For example, we give the children situations. Well, Abha, can you tell me, do you have a pet at home?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Can you tell us about your pet?
Ma'am, it's a dog.
Yes.
It's a Pomeranian dog,
Yes.
and it's of white color.
Right. What's its name?
Its name is Tuffy.
Right. What does Tuffy like to eat?
It likes to eat milk with bread.
Right. Does she play with you?
I am not that fond of playing with it. I am just a service provider to it. My
Okay.
children play with it.
All right.
But here, yes, I say that if I am a child over here for the demo, yes, I love to play with it pet of mine.
Right. But where does Tuffy sleep?
It has its own corner to sleep.
Okay. Does it have a bed?
Not a bed. It's having a mattress. So onto that mattress, there is.
Does it go out for a stroll?
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Does it like moving out?
Yes, yes. And it is more fond of it.
Hmm.
Much
And
more
how
fond of it.
how does Tuffy bark?
Bow, bow, bow.
Right. So, does Tuffy understand when you are going home, when you return
Yeah,
home?
whenever I get to home, it is very fond of coming near to me. It thinks that I have brought the bread packet for.
Okay.
So-
And how does Tuffy behave with strangers?
It again barks at them, annoys on them, angry.
He gets angry also. Okay.
Because whenever somebody is at home, it feels like it's time for it to be tied up again, to be stacking over to its place. So
You
it
need
it
to
gets
bound him up.
irritated. Yeah,
Okay.
it gets irritated sometimes.
All right. Jessie, do you have a pet?
Yes.
Yes.
I do have a parrot.
You have a parrot. Oh, nice.
A very talkative parrot.
Yeah. What's its name?
Like other parrots, she's Mittu.
She's me too. All right. Oh, can she tell your name?
Yeah, she knows my name.
Mm-hmm.
She knows everybody's name in the family.
Mm-hmm.
She scolds a dog if it walks in.
Oh, acha. She scolds the dog when it walks in. Then she's left alone, or she is in a cage.
She's in a cage,
Hmm.
and if we keep the doors closed, she is all over the house.
She is all over the house, so that's fine. It doesn't fly away outside.
If the doors are closed.
If the doors
Then
are
only it's
closed.
out of the cage.
Do you take it out in the garden?
Yeah,
It climbs on your shoulders.
yeah. You have to secure it, keep it safe.
You'll have to take care. What does it eat?
It eats fruit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Papaya?
Yeah, apple,
Mango,
papaya, mango,
Ap-
whatever the fruit. She loves all kinds of
Carrots?
fruits.
Do
Yeah, even carrots she loves because
Mhm.
it's hard. She likes to munch.
Mm. Okay. And you know, we have in one of our relatives' house, we have a parrot, and that parrot, uh, he's so fond of tea. You know, he
Oh.
sits with them on the dining table and has tea and toast.
Great.
Once they brought along the parrot to our house, and in the morning it was ready with the at the dining table even before us. Mary chai, where is my tea? So that was lovely.
That's become a part of family.
That was lovely. So sharing experience is this way. This is the a very casual kind of experience which children can share. We also can talk about our grandparents, our dadi, our nani. We can talk a lot about them. Hmm? If you remember that song, no? Which one? नानी तेरी मोरनी को मोर ले गई, हम्म? बाकी जो बचा था सारे चोर ले गए. मेरी नानी
अच्छी नानी प्यारी नानी रूसा
रूसी
रूसी छोड़ दे,
जल्दी
जल्दी
से
से एक पैसा दे दे, तू कंजूसी छोड़ दे.
Right. So when nani is conjuice, what happens? We can also create situations for story time that way. Right? If your nani is conjuice, what happened? What happened because your nani is conjuice? Right? Okay. So we have some sharing experience which is described well in your activity book. You have many activities which talk about sharing experience, and then dramatization, songs, poems, and dramatizations, which talks about how the child is able to feel the text or the content that is used. For class 1, how do you think dramatization can come into play? How do you think dramatization can come into play? I'll tell you a nursery rhyme. Listen to a nursery rhyme and think how the child will be able to act it out. Right? Little Betty Blue has lost her holiday shoe. Little Betty Blue has lost her holiday shoe. What will little Betty do? Give her another to match the other, and then she will walk in two. Little Betty Blue has lost her holiday shoe. What will little Betty do? Give her another to match the other, and then she will walk in two. Can we dramatize this? Why do you think we can dramatize this? Little Betty Blue. Ava, let's see this poem again, right? Can you tell me how many people are there in the poem? Little Betty Blue has lost her holiday shoe. What will little Betty do? Give her another to match the other, and then she will walk into. How many people in the
One
poem?
narrator and another little Betty.
Yes, it's Betty. Betty Blue is the name of the girl.
Girl.
What has happened to her?
She has lost her shoes.
She has lost her shoe. If somebody loses something, how will that person look?
Sad.
Sad, worried, has lost her holiday shoe. What will little Betty do?
She'll be sad. She'll be
She'll
crying,
be there. Now somebody is asking, what will she do now?
searching for her shoe.
She searched, she didn't find. Then what
crying,
happens?
Sad, demanding another one.
Right, demanding other. Now with one shoe you cannot do anything. So what happens? What happens when if this happens with you? आपके साथ ऐसा होगा तो क्या करेंगे?
New pair.
न्यू पेयर तो तुरंत नहीं मिल जाएगा. आपको दुकान तो जाना पड़ेगा. You'll have to need to go to the
You have
shop.
to anyhow search for it.
Yes, we anyhow search for it. But suppose you dropped it somewhere and you forgot. You left it somewhere
Yeah,
and you
couldn't get
forgot. Maybe you'd find it nowhere now.
Once near the seashore, it happened to me.
Yes. So what happens? You either take another pair or you adjust another similar
Similar pair.
shoe like that. So give her another to match the other in height, in shape. थोड़ा सा match होना चाहिए ना. आपका चप्पल, if it is for the left, if you have lost the right shoe, you will have to take another which is the right pair of the for the right foot. So
And
match
get a
the
single
other,
one.
then only you'll be able to walk.
Single one will not get.
So match the other, and then she will walk in two. What's the spelling of two here? TWO. So TOO is 2, TO2 is 2, TWO is also 2. If I don't have a written version of this poem, I can always ask my child, what's the spelling of 2? What is the spelling of shoe? To match the other. What is the match there? The matchbox? Give her another to match the other. Is this the matchbox? No. It is matching, means matching of one shoe and the other shoe. So to match the other, then she will walk into. Now, if you say that this is being dramatized, so Betty, somebody has to become a Betty and say that, oh, I lost my shoe. Where is my holiday shoe? I can't find it. Mummy, have you seen it? Raju, have you seen it? So the child will ask somebody, or Papa, have you seen it? She will ask everybody, have you seen my shoe? Have you seen my, I can see only one shoe. Where is my other shoe? Where is my other shoe? So this has to be created. एक बार उस बच्चे के सामने ये बोल दिया गया, the child will be able to make such dialogues. वो create कर लेता है. The child will casually develop such dialogues and talk about and dramatize this small nursery rhymes. So nursery rhymes are always, small poems are always dramatizable. You can have a very small story. For example, आपकी story है ना वो कौन सी वाली? Stork वाली? The stork and the fox. Stork and the fox.
With jug.
हाँ. What is that story? Jesse, can you narrate it?
There was a stork which had a long neck,
And a long beak.
yeah, and a long beak, and it would have its foot in a jug because it was deep, and it would put his beak and his head into the jug. Now one day the crow and the crane called the fox to dinner and offered dinner in a jug. What do you think happened? Would the fox have food from the jug? How would it be possible? Did he take a revenge? I forget.
Yes. Yes.
So the fox called the crane one day, and what did he give the food? Gave the food
He
to
had
crane.
soup.
Gave food to the soup to the crane in a small bowl. What would the crane do with the soup? It can't drink.
The soup used to
Neither
drink
can
from,
it lick it out.
the soup
Like a
used to
fox.
drink from a jug, and this fox used to lick the soup from a saucer. So when the crane invited the fox for dinner, the crane served the fox the soup in a jug. So when it was a jug, the fox could not put its mouth in and drink the soup. So he went away hungry. The next day, the fox invited the stork to the crane to the dinner. And when the crane arrived, the fox put a saucer of hot soup in front of the crane. The crane stood for a long while, allowed it to cool, and then touched it with his beak. But the crane could not drink any soup from that flat saucer at all. So the crane also had to go away hungry. This story can be dramatized. ऐसा करना चाहिए क्या? नहीं, नहीं, ऐसा करते नहीं हैं हम लोग. But it's a fun, but just for fun.
Tit for tat.
They just played jokes on each other, and it was fun. So इसको अगर ड्रामेटाइज करना है कि टिट फॉर टैट एज जेसी सेड कि जैसे को तैसा, we can always dramatize this story in Hindi or in English. First, we can always allow the child to try it out in Hindi. पहले हिंदी में बोलिए. Let them be comfortable with the language and feel their own parts, like their roles. कि कोई fox बनता है, कोई crane बनता है, उसके पास कौन सा सामान होना चाहिए, वो कैसे उसको करेगा. और उसके बाद फिर वो उसको इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे. तो 2-3 sentences में, in only 2 or 3 small sentences, the children can dramatize it. So that is one of the role play you can all have. The next slide tells you about that. The next slide tells you about that, how role play and language literacy becomes fruitful. See, conversation and storytelling, and then you have making learning enjoyable and stress free.
Second,
Yes.
natural setting of the
Yes.
communication.
Yes.
This boosts confidence in speaking. Once you let them speak in Hindi, in their own language, this boost up their confidence that yes, I can narrate certain things. Then gradually you can switch over with certain words that's madam related with, say, sari or something else, or nearby words that can be associated with. This makes learning more enjoyable and stress-free environment they learn into. Say they are very free, and those things are also known to them. They see birds around them, they see boats around them, other such stories. Showing them the toys also, you can ask them to narrate certain stories. Have you ever seen a horse? This is a horse, this is a cow. So can you speak some lines on cows? Something like that.
All right. Yes.
Now,
Now,
these activities.
Hmm.
This is also, I guess, it's more related to the previous concept as we discussed.
we
over.
have done this.
We have done this. Sound matching and all.
Sound matching, well, one thing which we can do here is, one activity which we can do here is guessing the word. For example, if we act and if we act
Us.
and show,
Shows.
if we act and show something, can we say, can the children guess what we are saying? Sign language is a different thing, but acting, miming is another thing. Like, can we ask the children to guess what I am saying? If I say, you can, I'm not saying it aloud.
Mama, sort of. Mama, आइए.
Yes, Mama, come here. Mama, come here. Suppose I'm now you say what happens. There is a game done. We can do that. We ask the children to be in 2 groups, and one of the what happens is, this is I saw this in a reality show and I loved that game. What they do is they give you sound box, sound aids, and then they'll have that hearing.
They act,
and
shows.
they mime that word. So they tell that word from a distance, and the person who has that headphone on in his ears, and he or she will listen to look at that person and guess the word. So there is a set of words given. For example, you have words like jalebi, book, tie, books, ऐसे. और मैं यहाँ से बोल रही हूँ, and that person is with a headphone. There's music on,
Yes.
and he'll have to lip read. So this is lip reading. So I say, so just looking at my face, he or she will have to guess that I'm saying jalebi, I'm saying books, I'm saying pen, I'm saying. अब ऐसा साइन कर देने से
It's easy.
समझ में आता है, but there is no hint. You just read the set of cards. So there are 5 words given there, you'll have to lip read and understand what's if you get all the 5 correct, bonus points. So that's a game you can always play with groups. It's a good game. Guess the word. This helps in 2 ways. The child who is uttering the word learns how to pronounce it, how to read the word, and also use expressions of hint. And the child who guesses the word also has to see that he or she understands the shape of your lips. So that also gives an access to how I read that word in my mind.
Yes.
Because I cognite with that pronunciation. तो मुझे ये वो कैसे दिख रही है, बोल रही है, कैसा उसका चेहरा दिख रहा है, इसके साथ मैं सोचती हूँ कि मैं सोचने की कोशिश करती हूँ कि कैसे उसको मैं याद करती हूँ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो प्लूरल्स होते हैं, टूथ, टीथ, इस तरह के जो प्लूरल्स होते हैं, टूथ, टीथ. अब यू से सपोज आई से कॉइन, कॉइन्स. अब कॉइन्स बोलते समय समझ में नहीं आता, मैं एस लगा रही हूँ, सिर्फ अटरेंस के रूप में उसको ध्यान से सुनना पड़ेगा. यहाँ पर एक चीज़ और बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, समथिंग वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट. When you help your children to listen carefully and repeat, for class 1, of course, it is listening and responding orally. But for first language learners, when it is class 1 English medium, of course, we wish that our children learn how to write those words also. So dictation, word level dictation or phrase level dictation is something which is welcome. But then in that case, we
go
also
beyond, maybe beyond readiness, maybe.
beyond readiness. But maybe we use flashcards and ask the child to write what is this. So recollecting the word, the visual of that word. Also saying, for example, if I have a word, if I have a flashcard showing drops of rain, and I want the child to say that it is rain, it can be very creative also. Maybe the child does not write rain. Maybe the child writes water. Maybe the child writes drop. Maybe the child writes window, air, anything. So drops of rain falling, and if that picture is shown and what is this, can you write what is this, only word level. Things can be creative, or dictation in the form of words like ice. If I say ice, what does the child write? Eyes or ice? I-C-E, ice. Yes. How does the child know that the word ice
exists.
I-C-E? Does the child know the word eyes in the form of spelling as well as in the form of a word? Or he or she just understands eyes, I-Y-E-Y-E-S, eyes. So this phonological concord, this word and phonology concord, this word and written form, the written expression concord is important. For example, we can also see that there are areas like, yes, Abha, you have something talking about vocabulary activities. Yes, the next slide we'll talk about vocabulary.
Somewhere this is what the thing
Yes,
is.
picture talk.
This is, I begin with your example only, ma'am. That you said whether we need to concord with the word ice, whether the child is knowing ice, E-Y-E-S, eyes, or I-C-E, eyes.
Eyes and eyes.
Eyes. So the thing is, we here relate with the show and tell. Once we show them that this particular is the picture of what, either is eyes or eyes. So once the child is known of, through pictures, the learning is going on. Through some concrete thing that you said. So somewhere we are relating it with their knowledge that yes, this is somewhere, through this you see and this you eat. This is a different concept then. So this built up their confidence. We are not directly asking them to write. Like we were discussing in the morning, me and Jessie ma'am, we discussed in the morning that the child is scribbling something in the paper and you go to the child and child is saying that this is a cow. So you need not have to demotivate it there that this is not a cow. You can take out the confidence of the child and then say, yes, what a wonderful cow. It was somewhere the very, modern type of an art, but yet, yes, if the child says it's a cow, then you should, it is a cow. And you can ask the child to speak something about that cow. Promote speaking in that manner.
Yes. So using pictures, using visuals for describing, for
Now with that particular one,
we can have a series of emojis. Suppose you have emojis with us. Emojis also tell you what it says,
yes,
right? Suppose you look at this picture.
emoji.
See,
No, this is
a
another one.
classroom. This is a classroom where the students are holding up a page of the book. You can look at this classroom, how print-rich environment has encouraged building learning of words. You have
Apple.
all these in L1, of course, but if it is L2, you will have to ask your children to name them. Now, one thing that is essential, sir, can we have a few emojis?
WhatsApp emojis.
Yes. See, you can always use this.
Smiley.
Some of the smileys or emojis, and
After.
if we say, what does this face say? What does this face say? The first one,
Smiling,
smiling. Second one,
cheering up,
okay.
want to hug.
The
There are
third
different levels of smiles.
third one is very happy,
Hmm.
wants to hug,
Hmm.
and then
Laughter.
this is surprise.
Surprise, yes, surprise. This is
So
laughter.
maybe you meet someone who is very surprising. Then you have
Amused.
yes, something funny,
Hmm.
and you love it. You love to see that. These are the last one is also very coolly happy, a serene kind of a thing. There are expressions which talk about, like this one you can see at the corner where there are tears. So you are laughing as well as you have tears in your eyes. That means
Extremely happy about something.
some extremely it's something is surprising
Uncontrolled
or yes,
More than
uncontrolled
happiness.
laughter, or maybe you find something very odd in some event, and you said, okay, I don't know what to say about it. There are emojis which show the symbol of heart on the eyes, on the cheeks. So somebody
गुस्सा भी है.
angry.
Anger.
Look
Here we
at
have
this.
more expressions.
There are more expressions here. Somebody who wants to give a punch, who is very angry. You are saying something wrong, so the tongue is sticked out, or the fingers on the lips and on the chin say that something is being thought about very crucially. Tears rolling, very sad to hear something. Thinking, I wonder what you are saying. See the last row there. I wonder what is. This is a world of emojis. This can be exploited as a very good describing tool. Adjectives, verbs, and expressions also. And these can be worked out. Like you can ask your children to draw such emojis on paper and color it and write a small caption. When did you feel like this? When did you feel like this? They can write it, or they can just say ऐसा आपको कब लगा, कब ऐसा लगा. ये इमोजी आपने किसके लिए बनाया? अपने लिए, अपने फ्रेंड के लिए, अपने टीचर के लिए. When your teacher scolded you, when your friends took away your pencil, when your younger brother drop down your tiffin, things like that. So if events are related to such emojis, you can always have beautiful activities rendered down in the class. We can also use food wrappers, products, chocolate wrappers. We can use name cards. We can use products, things like this. For example, I have a pen in my hand. Sir, can we show this?
I'll take it from here, Google.
Okay, you have a pen, any product, and
Pen can
suppose
be
I have this marker pen. This is called a whiteboard marker, and
Dairy milk.
it's called Art Line 157 RI. You can ask your child to read what is written. Look, there are so many markers here. Pick up one. See, this is whiteboard marker pen. Which company, which brand? You can
Year
ask
of
questions.
manufacturing.
Ask questions.
Colors on the pen.
Colors on the pen, of course.
Alphabets
Yes.
on the pen.
The letters W, H, I, T,
Cap,
E.
point. Where is the point of the marker? Where is the cap of the marker?
Yes. Is the pen open?
Open.
Is the pen
Pen
closed? And then see, marker pen, you can read those because they are capitals. If it is small letter, can you read what is written in small letters? Easily erasable. That means you can easily wipe it out. Where do you write this? With what? Where do you write this pen? With
On the whiteboard. On the whiteboard.
where do you use this pen?
On the whiteboard.
Not on paper?
No.
No. So if you write with this pen on paper, you will not be able to erase it. So where will you use it? You use it on a whiteboard. Can we use this on a blackboard? No. On a whiteboard is a smooth surface. So when you use this pen on a whiteboard to write, we can wipe it off with the help of a cloth or a small piece of sponge or duster like that. So whiteboard marker pen, केवल मार्कर लिखा होता, पेन शब्द नहीं लिखा होता तो क्या होता? Because it doesn't look like an ordinary pen. So when somebody purchases such thing, he or she will have to see कि है क्या चीज. So pen लिखा है, so it is easy to understand. Well, which company has made this?
Camlin.
Is it written there? Camlin. Okay. Is there some picture? What is
Brand
that?
name,
This is
Camlin.
the brand name, the brand trademark.
That's
TM लिखा है देखिए. TM means
is trademark.
trademark. TM. So how to exploit such authentic material, such things provided in your on-hand materials available. So variation of audio visual aids as well as shared collections in your classroom can help you do this. Now suppose you have another picture where nothing is labeled. Can you bring the picture of a tree? A small scene, or just take a small scenery. Yeah.
This one?
Bright tree.
Go to images, we can have that. Right. Suppose this is a picture. If you want to label this picture, what will you do? How many things can you see here?
Sky.
Sky,
Sun.
sun, yes,
Then tree.
tree,
Then grass.
grass,
Then small tree.
fields,
Small trees.
small trees. There are fields,
green, yellow.
Greenery.
green, yellow colors, golden color. Yes,
Sun rays.
sun rays. Very good. Yes.
Shadow.
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 Also.
Hmm.
Yeah, shadow is
Yes.
there.
The sun is
Keen
bright, so
observation.
shadow is there. Right? Okay. Fine. Can we take another scenery?
Another scenery.
Yes, a scenery. Or a fair. Picture of a fair.
Indian fair.
Picture of
Indian mela.
an Indian fair, a mela. Go to images. Images. Yes.
Which
Now,
matter you
this
want?
is colorful.
This one? This one?
No,
This one?
below the black one.
Yeah. Yes.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So many things happening. मेला लगता है कब कब लगता है during Deepavali, Navratri.
This is some good place.
See, so many. This is
You
the
didn't get it in images? No. What do you mean?
this is the festivals of India. Tarnetar Mela. Okay. Merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round.
Big merry-go-round. अब इसको हम लोग झूला बोलते हैं. Now झूला is a swing. This is known as, this circular swing is known as the merry-go-round. You can see so many stalls there.
Stalls.
There are 2 merry-go-rounds there.
Two merry-go-rounds.
And so many stalls, very not very clear, but the people buying and selling. What all things do you expect there at these stalls? यहाँ क्या क्या होगा? सोच के
Eatables,
बताइए.
sweets,
Sweets, eatables,
eatables,
gup
ice
chup,
creams,
ice
gup
cream,
chups,
all right. What else? Dolls.
tea, coffee,
बस खाने की
tea, coffee.
चीजें.
Yeah, no
All
games,
everything. Games.
shoes,
Toys,
shoes, clothes.
shoes, clothes. Okay. Household goods. You can have
Household goods.
bartan, the
Yeah,
utensils,
utensils.
and
Craft items.
craft items. Yes, craft items. Sundar cheezeं, beautiful things, right? So there are beautiful collections. People from different places come, visit, and buy and sell things. You can have items made of cane, items made of soil, clay, and things like that. Okay, fine. So today we have come to this slide and see I'll show you a small clipping of activities which are given in your, you can see the slide, just see that language development and foundational literacy has been nominated as teacher initiated large group activity. So the teacher will have to instruct. Here you cannot ignore the role of a teacher because teacher is the facilitator. Whether we say that the child begins to talk after listening, whether the child begins to read and understand, or whether he or she begins to write or scribble something with a purpose. You can see the activity numbers are given. There is a schedule on your activity book, and for the child as a communicator in English, we have these activities recorded. For example, you make a list. Suppose it's Rakhi, it's your birthday, or it's Rakhi celebration. What all things will you buy? You make a list of what all things will you buy on the Rakhi. If you have free, you can also ask the child to draw what all things, draw a Rakhi. Can you draw a Rakhi? How does a Rakhi look like? Can you make a beautiful Rakhi? You can also see that you will have a weather chart. You have a weather chart, how the temperature changes every day. So the weather chart is given and you have questions asked on this. how the child understands whether tomorrow's date will be sunny, rainy, cold, or can the child actually understand what is written on the weather chart. So weather forecasts are also used. You can see activity 18, which talks about picture dictionaries. Using picture dictionaries are the best means of helping the child to visualize words. So whenever there are nouns, whenever there are concrete words, lexical words, if the child has a picture in hand, like suppose you say a flask, a jug, a thermos, and you say an axe, words like this जिसमें पिक्चर होने से बच्चे को सुविधा होती है. You say an eraser, a rubber band, you say a drum. See, if you say a drum can be a drum of water, a drum can be a drum which is wet. So you can have both the pictures and say that this is a drum. Also, you have world of labels. See activity number 11. 11, it talks about world of labels. What kind of labels? Labels अभी जैसा हमने देखा पेन में, marker pen. वैसे ही you have many labels, like you say dark chocolate, you say coconut oil, pure coconut oil, you say toothpaste, you have salt packets, you have oil pouches,
Labels on clothes.
labels on clothes.
Books.
Yes,
They can
on
identify books.
on
English book,
books,
Hindi book,
on things that you buy. Many little things like soap cases, or you have toys.
The interesting items to eat. The Lay's chips.
Yes,
chips and
Lay's
all
chips and other things. जो ईटेबल्स आप खरीदते हैं बाजार से, वो सब चीज़ में लेबल होता है. उस लेबल में कभी दाम लिखा होता है. Sometimes it's you search what price it, what does it cost. You also say the date of manufacture, the date of expiry, the brand. Yes, of course. हाँ ना, आपको चाहिए टूथपेस्ट तो किसका टूथपेस्ट? आप टूथपेस्ट मांगते हैं तो नाम से मांगते हैं. आप कोकोनट ऑयल मांगते हैं तो नाम से मांगते हैं, है ना. सो जब नाम से मांगते हैं, आप स्केच पेन मांगते हैं, ज्योमेट्री बॉक्स मांगते हैं तो नाम से मांगते हैं. when you ask with names, that these are labels. So there's a plenty to learn how to read those labels. एक मैं कई बार इस बात को याद करती हूँ कि मैं जब एक बार बिलासपुर में कहीं थी तो वहाँ एक छोटे से गांव में मैं खड़ी थी बहुत देर तक. वहाँ लाइट नहीं थी, बहुत कम बिजली का वो था. तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज़, वो वहाँ क्या हुआ, मैंने देखा कि काफ़ी देर तक मैं सड़क पे खड़ी थी. तो जो वहाँ के जो वो थे, रहवासी थे, द इनहैबिटेंट्स ऑफ दैट विलेज, they brought along those packets with in their hands in the shop and asked them ये वाला, the shopkeeper told the shopkeeper ये वाला दे दो, तो ये वाला दे दो. they in fact they were illiterate, they didn't know how to read those labels. तो ऐसा उनके स्कूल के बच्चे भी कर रहे थे. Now this is the point where you need to say कि ये learning and literacy development, निपुण भारत का जो गोल है वो यहीं पर है. निपुण भारत के गोल में जो हमारा ध्येय होता है वो क्या है कि हम ये चाह रहे हैं कि each one teach one, each one teach one. each one teach one का मतलब ये है कि उसको जब कन्वे हम करना चाह रहे हैं, हम जो लोगों को सिखाना चाह रहे हैं, the world of literacy is through language. ये हमको समझना होगा कि द वर्ल्ड ऑफ लिटरेसी इज़ थ्रू लैंग्वेज. तो किस हर चीज़ के लिए एक लैंग्वेज चाहिए. वो न्यूमरल लैंग्वेज भी हो सकता है, और वो फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हम नंबर्स लेते हैं. नंबर्स लेते हैं कैसे, जो दवाइयाँ होती हैं, जो दवाइयाँ होती हैं, हम कहते हैं कि 30 कैल्पॉल एम, है ना, यू से टेल्मा 40, ऐसा होता है. वो 40, 20, 200 mg, ये नंबर्स होते हैं. जो दवाइयों पे नंबर्स लिखे होते हैं, वैसे ही साइज पे नंबर्स, ब्रश होता है जो पेंटिंग ब्रश होता है उस पे नंबर्स होते हैं, ब्रश नंबर 10, 5, 4, ये नंबर्स आर ऑल्सो related to your literacy about those. Literacy does not actually mean doing with knowing knowledge, बल्कि your acquaintance with such some particular area. आप पेंटिंग करते हैं तो पेंटिंग से संबंधित चीज़ों के बारे में आपको जानकारी होती है. If you are a tailor, you know the apparatus needed for tailoring. You know how many, what is the name of that thing, how it works. If you are a plumber, if you repair taps, you know what kind of pipe you require, कितना measurement चाहिए. निपुण भारत का यही उद्देश्य है. Our aim is to make the people literate in their own professions. We also need to understand कि हम कितना कुछ जान लेंगे तो हम कितना कुछ सिखा सकते हैं लोगों को. Each one teach one की बात हम करें तो क्या कि every person will have to understand कि हमारा बच्चा जो है, that child who comes from home, from early childhood to first his home and then to school, transition to school as the second home, और उसके बाद आगे उसके academic goals में हो जाता है, तब तक के लिए उसको हम support करते हैं for language development, because to transfer literacy, to transfer skills in learning, we need to help the child with the language. Yes.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, ma'am. Your insights were actually very fruitful for us for today's session.
Jesse, how would you sum up?
Yeah, so today we have been discussing goal 2, being effective communicators, and we'll keep thinking, keep pondering over it, how language helps thinking, how thinking helps language development, how they impact each other. Happy Readiness program. Thank you.